Katy Vernon here today. She's over from America.
Yes.
And we've got a few questions to ask you for Cool Cat Ukes. So, first one is, are you British or American? What's the story there?
Yeah, well, you know, it's interesting because I have now officially spent more of my life in America.
Right.
But I was born and raised in South London, so I'm always going to be British.
I'm West London, so.
Well, yeah, I won't hold that against you. But no, you know, it's an interesting, weird time in the world. And I do carry 2 passports, so I feel a little bit like an international spy. Well, I'm not a spy, I'd like to make that very clear. But no, I feel very British, and it's been really nice coming back more and touring more because that helps boost my Britishness.
Good.
Yeah.
So you've been doing a little tour and you've been around Brighton and up north?
Yeah, I played in Hove with Lush, the lovely ukulele strummers of Hove.
Right.
Spent some time in Brighton, and then I went to Plymouth and played just a really great house concert celebration. There were some other uke players there, and it was fun. And I had no idea where Plymouth was, so now I know.
It's a long way away. So, and you're here at Unplug the Wood in Ash tonight.
Yes,
so.
I'm so excited.
Right, well, whenever I hear the name Lily,
Yeah.
one of your songs, it just rings around in my head. I hear the tune straight away.
Good.
And,
my evil plan is working.
What's the favourite of your songs and why?
Lily's definitely up there. You know, I'm kind of obsessed with my most recent record, but Lily will always be special because it's about my oldest child, and it's just such a fun, happy song. And for me at the time, I hadn't really written an upbeat song like that, and also just hearing from other people that it makes them happy. Maybe they have a granddaughter or a niece, so you know, there's a lot of people that have lilies in their lives. Right. So it's always nice to see a song take on someone else's meaning. And then on the new record, it's hard to pick a favorite. You know, it's all still so fresh.
Yeah.
They're all great. You should get the record.
What's the record? Yeah, sure.
Here we go.
There we go.
Yeah. And I did write a song on this one for my other daughter. So I have 2 girls, and my other daughter is Daisy.
Right.
So she has her own song on here. It's not called Daisy, but she knows it's for her.
So I've got one word, ABBA.
ABBA.
Tell me about this.
ABBA-tastic. I have an ABBA cover band. We're called Absolutely Fab. It's not that original, but we started it about 3 years ago, and it totally came out of a Facebook discussion. So someone was really dogging on ABBA, saying that ABBA were not rock. And, you know, I agree, but people were getting kind of mean about it. And so I just commented, sidebar, if anyone wants to start an ABBA band, I would be up for that. And by the end of the day, we had a 6-piece band and a gig. I'm not kidding.
6-piece band? Okay. ABBA.
I know, ABBA doesn't quite work that way. But if you watch ABBA concert footage, there were a few people behind it.
Yeah.
There's a lot, you know, and the thing is, one of the reasons I love it so much is it's really complex music. It's hooky as can be, and you know, obviously, you know, you mentioned that Lily is catchy. I love a hooky song. I mean, you know, I think that's...
Everybody knows it.
Right?
An ABBA song.
Everyone knows an ABBA song, and it's really funny because you can spot the people who were dragged to the gig, and they're all loving it by the end. And people cry. Like, how often do you see people cry with happiness at a gig?
Yeah. Cool.
At an ABBA gig, they do.
So apart from ABBA songs, what's your favourite song to cover?
You know, the Beatles are always great. I love playing Dear Prudence. Kind of finger picking that is just beautiful. And I'm a sucker for a Patsy Cline. You know, they're always fun. Good old country song.
Good stuff.
Old country.
So Suit of Hearts, you did flash the album at us.
I did, and it comes in another version
Latest
too.
album. That's a USB stick.
What? I know, isn't that fun? This is for people that say, I don't have a CD player.
Yeah.
And then I say, you can have this. This has the whole album on it, plus a couple of music videos, plus all of the lyrics and everything that's in here. All the lyrics in it.
Complete kit.
Yeah.
So what's the story behind the album? There's normally a story.
There really is a story, and it's a little long-winded, so I'll say it very shortly. I had a little bit of a mental breakdown. I started an ABBA band to help with that, which really helped. But I gave up drinking, I gave up my job, and I just plunged kind of headfirst into a 6-week UK tour, and really just for the first time prioritized music in my life, and also kind of my mental health. And a lot of it was conceived right after playing a ukulele festival, spending 9 days in Brighton, and just really realizing that, you know, that you can go through stuff that's hard in life, but hopefully come out better at the other side. And so it's about vulnerability and strength, kind of an equal measure. And the Suit of Hearts idea came from, you know, I wear my heart on my sleeve as a songwriter. It's not that, you know, atypical for a songwriter to, you know, delve and get really personal. And that was what I did, and I kind of almost felt like I had to apologize a bit for oversharing. And then I realized, you know what, this is it. Like, this is my heart on my sleeve, to the extent where it feels like an entire suit of hearts. And maybe that's okay. It's okay to be vulnerable. And I wanted to write through that and come out the other side with some kind of happy anthems.
Good stuff.
Which I did.
So you're a busy gigging musician.
Yes.
What would your top 3 tips, quick top 3 tips for an aspiring artist like me?
Yeah, well, I think, you know, practice.
I knew that.
That's the big one. That's all 3, really. But I think also just look at what other people are doing that you wish you were doing. You know, sometimes it's easy to get lost in the big picture and, you know, kind of envy other people, or just think, you know, oh, they're up here and I'll never get there. You know, look at what realistically you could work towards. And I always kind of, whenever I feel a bit jealous, and, you know, we're all, you know, guilty of that sometimes, I think, okay, well, what are they doing that really strikes a chord with me that I wish I could do? And then I try to work backwards, the steps. So like, okay, you know, maybe a year from now, I could play that venue, or I could collaborate with that band, or whatever it is that, you know, kind of really tickles your fancy that you wish you were doing. Just work towards it. I think a lot of people think there's some quick, you know, shortcut, and there never is. And then practice again for number 3. And take yourself seriously, though. You know, I think a lot of people, when they don't say that they're a professional musician, we all struggle with calling ourselves professionals or artists, or, you know, any of those words that seem pretentious. But, you know, no one wants to hear a song done kind of half-heartedly or apologetically.
Go for it.
And even if you're really, really nervous and shy, just go for it. It's not an audition. Yeah, I tell myself that before gigs. I'm like, I got the gig. It's not an audition. Usually an audience wants you to do well. You know, they're not out there rooting against you, usually.
No.
Unless you, you know, really
They
make a lot of enemies. They do, so just entertain them.
Cool.
And then it gets you out of your own head.
Okay, last 2 questions coming up. Quick fire questions, really.
All right, we're ready.
Custard cream or bourbon?
Bourbon, all the way. It's not even close.
You got some friends here, I think.
Good.
And how many cats have you got?
Well, if I take this one home, it'll be 1. I have no cats. I have 2 dogs and a hedgehog.
And a hedgehog? Oh, yeah. Seen that.
Have you ever had a guest with a pet hedgehog?
No.
I win.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd love to have a cat someday, but my husband has a very, I'll have to cover the cat's ears. My husband has a very strict rule in our house. 1 pet out, 1 pet in.
Harsh.
It's harsh. I mean, it's fair, but it's harsh. Okay. Didn't want the kitty to hear that.
Okay. Well, Katy, enjoy the rest of your time in the UK, and
thanks.
thank you very much.
Yes.
Cheers.
Thank you.